Welcome to another episode, a quick episode of No Talking During the Movies. I am your host, Stephen Austin.
And I'm the reason that this episode is late, Tank.
Tank is a busy man. He's actually in the process of moving right now. If you're watching on the YouTube, it looks like he's in, what would you call that, Tank? A coffin?
This is a closet. This
A
is
closet.
a straight up closet. But I think with some modifications, some pictures, I think this will look like a nice. You could sell this in New York as an apartment for $3,500 a month.
Now, the
So,
question is, are you going to be slowly but surely adding stuff to it? Because it'll be great to look back at these videos and just see like, oh, look at the progression of Tank's closet.
well, Tank's Closet sounds like a really
Well,
shitty thrift store.
yeah.
No, I'm gonna try to get it all. I'm gonna try to knock it all out at once. Because I have all the stuff. It's just right now a lot of it is behind other things, and
Sure.
I still have some packing to do, quite frankly, from the other place. So, but this is the very first podcast that I've done from. This is actually the first video call
Oh,
even that
wow.
I've done from the new space. So I'm excited to see how it looks. I can see already some things I have to adjust. But I'm really excited.
Well, on my end and on everybody else's, it looks slightly blurry. So,
That's not good.
yay.
Are you maybe a little drunk? Is that
What is in this Coke, actually? No. All right, well, we'll just get right into it. We got a couple of trailers to run down, and I'm actually kind of happy we skipped Friday because the Super Bowl happened and we got a lot of other stuff. Not the Super Bowl, that was last week. The following weekend, we got a lot of other stuff that we can talk about. The main one being this first trailer, which is the new trailer for the Justice League, Snyder Cut's Justice League. And, Tank, what do you think about it?
well? My first question is this something we really need?
No.
Number one.
No.
My second question. Now, I will say I do like Darkseid being in it.
Sure. Who knows
That's
how much he's
cool.
going to be in it?
Absolutely. I didn't care. Here's the thing I don't like about what this whole thing has done with Batman, where he's Indiana Jones with a machine gun. I don't understand that, and also some sort of dream prophet. That's not Batman. That's
True.
not doesn't make any sense. So I don't care for that. But I'm willing to give it a chance and watch it. They're obviously it's not like the Justice League. It didn't leave room for improvement.
Sure. And
So
so what I'm assuming is going to happen, it's a 4-hour film. What I'm assuming is going to happen is there is going to be a moment in the movie where the Justice League fail. And then we see what happens 5 years in the future. Earth is a desolate wasteland, heroes fighting with villains, or like heroes working together with villains, all to try to just survive in this post-apocalyptic world. And they send flashback in time to fix things, and then it can give us the Steppenwolf ending that we saw in the first Justice League. That's my prediction, because they show so much like desolate wasteland that was once a dream sequence in the last movie or in the last iteration of Justice League, that I feel like that was supposed to be this whole 2-hour experience that we missed.
that wasn't Justice League. That was Batman v Superman.
Oh my God, it was. Okay, so yeah, so there we go. So like that dream sequence he had, like you said, like dream prophet, whatever, is supposed to happen, and we are supposed to see it in Justice League in this upcoming one. We're gonna see what happened in the future, and then somehow probably Flash is gonna go back and fix everything. I don't know. It's gonna be a wild ride. Overall, I don't think it's gonna be. I'm going in with the lowest expectation, so all I can be is pleasantly surprised, I'm sure.
Fair enough. Yeah, I feel the same way about it. Honestly, like I feel that the first movie was it was such a mess.
It was.
You couldn't make it worse, you know.
Yeah.
So we'll see. And it kind of looks like, and I, forgive me if I'm wrong, but it kind of looks like maybe they've even adjusted Steppenwolf's costume.
They did, yeah. They made
And
him.
I like it better actually.
That's really funny too, because I remember the first time Snyder. It was like months ago. He essentially showed off like, here was Steppenwolf in the first Justice League. Here's Steppenwolf in our Justice League, and he's just like spikier, and he looks like more of like a metal menace. And I'm like, all right, like I don't care.
Looking very similar to the metal creature the destroyer that walked into the town in Thor.
Yeah, sure. And that's like overall, my issue with Justice League was not what Steppenwolf looked like. It was Steppenwolf. Like he's such a boring villain. So
absolutely, absolutely in every way imaginable. By the way,
yeah. So I'm interested to see what they could possibly do to turn this around. As much as I don't like Jared Leto's Joker, it looks like he's getting another chance at the role. We're gonna actually have Batman and Joker interacting, but I swear to God, that whole "we live in a society," blah 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 blah, isn't that right, Batman? And I'm just like, oh God, no. Please, God, no. Like, I just hate it. I hate it. And it's so meme worthy. Have you? Okay. The best one that I saw was Joker looking out to the wasteland, and it says, "I only drink my drinks with crazy straws." And then it's him turning to the camera and going, or as I call them, straws. It's too easy. Like, it's so dumb. Oh.
I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'll definitely be there for it. So
yeah, I'm
not gonna talk too much trash about it because obviously I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah,
they're gonna get my viewership, which is to them what they're seeking. So
exactly, like they're 100% going to get me to watch the movie. It's going to be one of the biggest things that comes out on HBO Max. It's one of the selling points of HBO Max for a lot of people.
Absolutely.
So it's a big deal. I don't think it's going to do much on terms of like changing anything, but we'll see. It's going to be interesting. I'm just so tired with this superhero BS. Anyways, let's talk about Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Damn, that didn't land, did it? You didn't even react.
No.
All right. Well,
you gotta set it up better than like that.
Podcast over, everybody. We failed.
You gotta sell it better. You gotta sell it bigger.
Okay,
I'm so tired of all this superhero BS. All right, let's move on to something else. Falcon and the Winter Soldier. You know what I mean? Like that's.
See that? All right. Well, I'll know for next time. Here, take two. I'll cut this out. I swear I will. I won't do it. Yeah, I am just so tired of this superhero BS. I'm so done with it.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to talk about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier? Okay, so it was the new... Man, that was so fake. And now I know half of the times that you laugh at my jokes, you are faking it. Damn. Now I know. You spiked so hard on that laugh, by the way. So yeah, let's talk about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. They released a new trailer during Super Bowl. Probably one of the best parts of the Super Bowl. And so Tank, this trailer looks amazing, and I'm super excited for this show.
Me too. I'm stoked, man. I mean, those are two of my favorite guys from the MCU.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to see. We've talked about in the past how they've done the different shows and like how each show has kind of its own thematically. So this kind of looks like a buddy cop thing. You know what I mean? Kind of like a Lethal Weapon kind of deal.
A little bit. So, I like that it opens with them in marriage counseling.
And that's funny. That's really funny. And it also looks like, I mean, from the this is what they're doing. And we'll talk about this a little bit more as we get into WandaVision too. Sure. But the way that they're blurring the lines between movie universe and TV universe is so amazing because the quality of the TV show is equal to that of the movies.
Yeah.
So you're not losing anything. You know, like you watch Flash on CW, you know you're watching a TV show,
Sure.
especially when you see something like the giant Shark Man
Or
guy.
Gorilla Grodd. Yeah, yeah,
Right.
sure.
Yeah. You know you're watching the show because it looks like Commodore 64
Yeah.
graphics.
And
But
normally it's because the VFX artists work very hard, but they only have like a week to do it. Whereas in a
absolutely.
Marvel budget studio film, they have like, much longer time to get it done.
And more resources, more
Sure.
people, So it's just the difference that's there, and I think that this is
Hmm.
going to have that just from the trailers I've seen so far. It looks like a major motion picture the way that it's the CGI's done, and the camera work and everything. So I'm really excited. I think it's going to be great.
Yeah, Disney really seems to just be giving it its all for the MCU and these TV shows. They like you said, they're definitely on the same level, which is so welcome, I guess, because that's the only way they can do it at this point.
Right.
The
Well,
Defenders, when they came out, like those shows like Jessica Jones and Luke Cage, Daredevil, they said these take place in the MCU. They don't anymore. Well, we're at this point, I don't think any of us are really sure. But when they first came out, they said, "Oh yeah, Daredevil takes place in the MCU." They mentioned Thor crashing through somebody's house or something. So we know that it takes place, but it always still felt so separate. These shows aren't going to feel like that. They're going to feel just as part of the MCU that everything else has.
well, yeah, this is going to be supplementary to the whole thing.
Exactly.
And in some cases, even like you're probably going to want to watch the shows to know what's going on in the movies. And
Right.
and actually, this is where Disney, whatever WandaVista or whatever the parent company is so brilliant, because when we do finally get back into theaters, if we ever do get back into theaters,
I'm sure we will
then
at some point.
people are going to have to and want to go see the movies because they're already invested with the shows.
Sure.
And they're going to, what I mean? So like this is just investing them further.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Like Kevin Feige said, all the new Marvel shows will impact the films in some way.
Right.
Like we're going to get a She-Hulk TV show. So at some point, She-Hulk's going to be in an Avengers movie. You know what I mean? And people, like, we got to remember that. And I think the real test for these TV shows is when we're dealing with new characters like She-Hulk or Miss Marvel or Moon Knight. Because right now we're getting Loki, we got Falcon and Winter Soldier, we got WandaVision, all characters we know already.
Yeah, but I would say that Wanda and Vision are kind of tertiary characters.
Sure, but we still have seen them in the major films. Wanda and Vision are a major plot point in Infinity War. Wanda's one of the main. They're both the main plot point in Age of Ultron. So we know them so well. But I think what I mean is like having an origin story for a character like a Miss Marvel or a Moon Knight in a TV show form that we are told, by the way, this connects to the MCU. That's going to be interesting because that'll really be the test of, does this feel like the MCU to me?
Right. And we'll know very soon. Actually.
Yeah, we will. And I'm excited for it. I mean,
me too.
We got Falcon and Winter Soldier coming up. And honestly, that trailer really sold me. Zemo coming back from Civil War and he's wearing his like purple mask from the comics and somehow he still looks cool. So that's awesome. Agent 13 is back in the show. And honestly, her kicking ass in the trailer was one of the things that sold me the most about the show. Because it really, like, I was always interested in her character, but I wanted to keep seeing her, like, show up in more stuff, but she just never did. Because she was always, like, a side character. She was, like, Agent Maria Hill in S.H.I.E.L.D., you know?
Right.
This show is going to make her a part of the main cast, which I'm excited for. You know what I mean?
Who is she? I don't.
She was the blonde that had to keep an eye on.
Peggy Carter's niece.
Peggy Carter's niece. Yes, Agent 13.
Who
nope.
Captain America made out with.
Nope. Don't go there.
Went back in time and wiped up her.
Don't go there. Don't do it.
It seems a little. There's something wrong there. I feel like. That's more like it's like Captain Arkansas.
All right, all right, Captain Alabama. But she's gonna be in the show, and she looks like she's kicking ass in the trailer, so I'm excited for that. Their humor looks really funny. They have that one shot right at the end where Bucky's like hanging on the underside of the truck, and Sam flies over, and he's like, "That little girl kicked your ass, didn't she?" And then it's just Bucky screaming. Ah! It looks really fun.
It's gonna be a good show. I believe that. I believe that there's gonna be like such good opportunity for those two to be funny, and because they're very very funny.
They're very
in the movies.
Oh my God, Civil War.
They have a wonderful chemistry
They
between
do.
the two of them.
Remember,
so it's good.
Remember Civil War with them in the car, and then it's whoever's in the front seat. It might be like Sam is in the front seat and Bucky's in the back, and he goes, "Can you please move your chair up?" And then Sam's like, "No." Like they're bickering so good. I'm really excited for it.
They're also like jostling for to be Captain America's best friend.
It's true. And
they both would be his best friend.
Side note, I'm really excited to see Sam like come into being Captain America.
Yes.
That's what I'm most excited for, I think, for the show in general, because we both know that's where it's going. There's gonna be identity problems he'll have, where he'll probably want to pass the shield on to Bucky, and I don't think Bucky's gonna take it.
No, Bucky is, I think, self-aware enough to know that he doesn't have a clean enough conscience to be Captain America.
I think he would also be like, "No, you don't understand, man. He gave it to you.
Right.
Like this is yours."
So, yeah, he's definitely gonna be dealing with like a lot of that imposter syndrome and things like that.
And somebody pointed out in the trailer that there's a part where that Sam's wearing a black suit, looking down at the shield in his hands, and behind him on a wall is like this big, like poster essentially of Captain America, and people are like, "Is he at Steve Rogers' funeral?"
No.
Really? He's an old man. He's an old man at the end of Endgame.
It's true. That is true.
And then somebody else pointed out that the posters on his left.
Oh man, on your left.
I don't want it. Wow. I don't want sadness, but it's gonna give it to me anyways. But overall, I'm super excited. I'm just ready for more Falcon and Winter Soldier. And I bet you the moment WandaVision's done and that comes out, that's going to be the next thing that we're going to be going episode by episode on this podcast.
I mean, I feel like that works. It feels like a winning formula to me.
I'm loving it. I'm loving doing these like recaps. And it also forces me to watch the episode before it can get spoiled, so that's even better. I've got a friend who said Mandalorian's finale was spoiled for them because of Mark Hamill on Twitter.
Oh no!
Because he said something like, "I thank Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni for the opportunity they gave me to be a part of the Mandalorian season 2 finale," and I'm just like, "Oh no, don't say this, Mark." And that was the tweet that did it. Spoiled a lot of people. All right, well, we just talked about some of the better trailers, or the bigger trailers. So now, you sent me this one last night, called The Vault. Looks like a fun heist film.
Yeah. I thought it looked like it reminded me of
like an Oceans.
Maybe like an Oceans. There was another. I had a much better
21.
No, I didn't see that.
You never saw 21?
The cast is fantastic. That's your number one thing you need to know about this movie is that the cast looks amazing.
Yeah, it looks very good.
Sir Davos is the leader of the.
That's right. See, that's the problem. I don't know any of these actors' names because I think they're primarily like, overseas British actors, and I'm very bad with, those names unless they're big American movie stars. But they definitely are selling this trailer as this fun heist film. They essentially have to. The goal is to rob the most complicated vault in the world. Is that what it is?
Something. I don't know.
Like that.
It kind of, you know what it was? It was Baby Driver that it reminded me of, which made me think that you might like it.
Oh, because they got to get this kid on board.
You got the kid, and then everybody else
college
is like
student.
skeptical. and he's like better than everybody else, but they don't know it because they're stupid.
I will say there was this part in the trailer where I heavily rolled my eyes.
Oh no, what was it?
It was when the scary looking guy with the neck tattoo is in the college kid's face and he's like, "Are you ready for this?" And then the kid looks at him and goes, "Are you?" And then it cuts to Sir Davos or whatever, and he's like, "The kid's got balls." And I'm just like, oh, God.
Yeah.
All right. He stared down Mr. Scary Tough Guy with the neck tattoo and said, "Are you?" But the kid's got balls.
Fair enough.
I rolled my eyes heavily at that. But the rest of the trailer looked good. I liked there was a bit where it's like he's undercover as I guess a janitor at some point in the film. And he's got to roll the cart down like all these really fancy stairs. And they're like, "This is the genius. This is the genius that we hired for this job." And that looked fun. That looked silly.
It's funny. It's fun.
Yeah. So that looks good. That looks fun. I'm so excited to talk about this trailer. I think I'm more excited to talk about this trailer more than anything else. So, Tank, what did you think of M. Night Shyamalan's Old?
I think that the name Old is the perfect way to describe M. Night Shyamalan's style of filmmaking. So I think that works out wonderfully.
Just
I can't, dude. I can't with this guy anymore.
We gotta stop giving him money.
I mean, seriously. Like, what are we still doing? Why are we still doing this?
Why do people give him money? What was his last film? What was his last film that did well?
I don't know. Peppa Pig. I don't know.
Peppa Pig. M. Night. Let's see. What was his last film? Not producer, director. Glass. He did Glass. Did you ever see Glass?
I didn't watch Glass. I wanted to, though.
I've heard mixed things on Glass. Then he did Split. That's what it was. He did 2 movies that did really, really well, and now he's getting money again. Because before that, it was like The Visit, After Earth, The Last Airbender, The Happening, Lady in the Water, The Village, Signs.
Oh, my God. How bad was The Happening?
Oh, my God. I still, to this day, I always like to quote my my favorite Mark Wahlberg quote from that movie when the old lady's like, "You're here to rob me and kill me." And then he just looks at her with this just wide-eyed innocence and goes, "No." No. Every time. So good. Oh, that movie.
It's the trees. Oh my God, it's so dumb. And then I didn't see Later in the Water. I didn't bother.
No.
I liked Signs. I thought Signs was okay.
Well, my problem with Signs is that it was very obvious what he was trying to tell us the entire movie. Like, do you see how often he puts water in front of your face in that movie? Literally, like, every other shot, it's like, hey, there's a water bottle blocking the shot. I'm not even kidding. And then it's like, oh, it's water. And I'm like, damn it.
Water is the key. Yeah.
Was that Joaquin Phoenix in that movie?
He is, yeah.
I forgot about that. I always remember Mel Gibson's in that movie, but nobody else. Justin, your chair there, big guy?
Yeah, just getting used to the room here.
Yeah. Is it feeling good? You liking the room? You liking the room? It's feeling good?
Yeah, it's nice and comfortable.
Okay, good.
Oh.
But yeah, M. Night Shyamalan, we gotta stop giving him money. So we should probably actually talk about this trailer at some point. So it's an island that a family goes on a vacation, I guess, and multiple families, I'm sure. And the island makes them age rapidly. Ooh. But like, I don't know. The reason why I'm more upset about it is, I guess, because like it's just so unsettling when you see this little girl at the beginning of the trailer, like in the backseat of the car, and then there's a quick shot of her like pregnant, giving birth as like a 20-something-year-old, and I'm just like, oh, that's so unsettling. And I'm sure that's what he's going for, but I'm like, ugh, like, who wants to watch that?
Well, also, who knocked her up is the question.
Well, it's like, if they're aging rapidly, then it'd be like, I guess, whatever their lifespan is, regardless of going to the, I don't know. I don't want to think too heavily about this film, but Ugh, all
Yeah,
right, all right.
looks terrible. Looks terrible.
Yeah, it doesn't look great.
And nobody's gonna see it, so it's not anything.
Oh, people will see it, and they're gonna give him so much money after that, and he's gonna make the old 2. He added a the at the start of it. The old 2. All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for the trailers. We're not going to do any news today, primarily because not a lot happened. Surprisingly, in the past like week and a half, like nothing's really been happening other than us getting these kind of big trailers. So, let's give our recommendations. Tank, what do you got for us this week?
This week I'm recommending a movie from the '80s, a really good one called Streets of Fire.
Oh, I think I know Streets of Fire.
It's Willem Dafoe at his creepiest as the leader of a motorcycle gang who kidnaps Diane Lane at her foxiest when she's a singer. She's a rock singer, and she comes back to her hometown to put on a show, and this motorcycle gang kidnaps her. And Michael Paré, who hasn't really gone on to do much after that. I mean, but he's a really good action hero in this movie, and it's a good movie, man.
Oh my God.
It's got the song that you know the song very well. It was the song that came out of it was "I Can Dream About You."
Oh yeah,
if I can. That came out of that movie.
There's a lot of people in this movie, by the way.
It's a great movie. It's a really good, underrated movie.
Moranis.
Moranis.
He's in this. Moranis. And Bill Paxton.
Moranis. It sounds like a porno director. Moranis.
That is the. But honestly, this poster, I'm gonna try to hold it up to the camera. This poster looks incredible.
It's a great movie, man. It really is. It's one of those movies that was a staple around my household when I was growing up.
Oh.
You know, everybody loved it. And I recommend it because it's kind of been lost in time and it's superiorly underrated.
Streets of Fire, a rock and roll fable. Do you know what the tagline is on the poster?
No, what is it?
It says, "Tonight is what it means to be young."
That's perfect. That's the perfect thing to go on that. Are you all right? Are you about to get mugged?
I swear somebody was just breaking in.
Tonight is what it's like to be murdered in your studio.
I bet, you know what I bet it was? I bet it was Justin going into the next studio just to like wiggle on the door handle like a d-hole. All right, well, that's a great recommendation. I definitely want to check it out. I think I might have actually seen the film because there was a time where I literally just went through like 80s films and just watched all these like B, not even B movies, just ones that didn't get a lot of attention. They weren't the, aliens of the 80s.
Sure.
So I think I might have seen it, but I definitely want to rewatch it now. My recommendation is one that I saw it through a listing, and I honestly thought to myself, Tank doesn't like horror films, but he honestly might have seen this one. Also, I would consider this more of a thriller than a horror personally, but it's under the category of horror. Did you ever see Shutter Island?
No, that's Leo?
Yeah, that's Leo. It's Scorsese directing it, too.
I meant to.
Leo and Mark Ruffalo.
See, I don't mind a thriller. It's just goofy horror that I'm not into.
Sure. Not goofy horror. Very, very cool. It's a mystery where it's two guys coming in off of a boat onto this prison asylum called Shutter Island, and they're essentially doing this search of this missing patient who, he went missing on an island. So they're like, all right, so he's somewhere here. But all of the other patients are terrified of this asylum guy who escaped, so they're not talking.
Oh, wow.
It's super interesting. Messes with your head a bunch because Leo's kind of the troubled past detective, and he's got a lot of weird stuff going on at the same time. Super, super good. It's got one of my favorite, like, Scorsese endings to a film. So I think you'll like it. I honestly think you will. Just like how you liked Eternal Sunshine.
But here's the thing. My wife saw it and she didn't like it, so I couldn't get her to watch it with me. She'll watch anything with Leo in it.
There you go. So Shutter Island should work. Yeah, I think we were talking the other day and you were just like, yeah, it's sad. So she didn't want to watch it. And I'm like, it is sad. It is a sad, sad Jim Carrey movie, which is a very weird thing, but it's true. All right. Well, we're going to get right into our talks of WandaVision episode 6. Oh my God, it's felt so long since I've watched it. Like we're going to be getting our new one soon.
I should watch it again.
Yeah, I kind of want to watch it again, honestly. This last episode was so good. And it's really funny. So, Tang, you know, the reason why you're in this coffin with a glow stick above you is because you're moving. And I went to help you one of the couple days ago or something. And at that point, WandaVision had already come out. And there was a point where we were sitting on like some of your furniture just talking about WandaVision. And I was like, should we be saving this for the podcast?
Yeah, we were in the garage
waiting
for somebody to come pick up some of the stuff.
Yeah.
Because I was giving away a lot of our furniture. So we were just in the garage in this pouring storm. And actually that would have made a dope podcast scene right there. But yeah, I'm glad that I watched it when I did instead of waiting, because I thought it was the best one so far.
That's what you said to me, and I was like, you really think that's the best one? Oh my God. Well, before we get further into spoilers, first off, why the hell haven't you watched the show yet? Secondly, we're going to start talking about spoilers. Tank, you really enjoyed it. He thinks it was the best one yet. I think it was fantastic. There was so much to love about it. It's just getting crazier, and by the end of the episode, I was screaming because I wanted more. So take that with you, what you'll take from that. So we'll start talking about spoilers now. So, Tank, what was your favorite part of the episode? I don't know why I asked it in a question.
I gotta say, when she came down the stairs in her outfit, I think was probably the best part of the episode. That was pretty incredible.
All right,
I gotta be honest with you.
Not going in the creepy route, I was a very, very happy fanboy to see all of them in their comic book accurate outfits. Like her and her outfit was great. Vision and his, and then Pietro actually like doing his Quicksilver X-Men outfit. Perfect, especially because he got the hair right.
Yeah, that was cool. I mean, all kidding aside, she's fucking hot.
All right.
But so like now we're seeing a show kind of from the point of view of the kids now.
Yeah, so the episode really seemed to, we were supposed to be in the 90s in this episode, but I think what they did is because Wanda's starting to lose her control on everything, the decades mixed together. So we got 90s and early 2000s, because the opening theme song, which was fantastic, by the way, was very Malcolm in the Middle, to the point where even the kids are straight up talking to the camera. And in a great video I saw the other day, somebody pointed out that at one point the kid's talking to the camera and Pietro realizes that he is, and he like turns his head like, what is he doing over there? Like he realizes he's talking to the audience. It's really funny. But yeah, I really like the style they're going for. In this episode, it's crazy where it's going, man. Everything's going wrong.
Well, and you got to be like I'm in awe of how great some of the performances are.
Yeah.
The scene where Vision is outside of the bubble and he's fighting to stay together, like literally stay together. So then you got questions like, does this mean that he can't exist outside of the hex? Is that what that means?
Well, I think she's literally giving him life when he's in there.
Right, exactly. So, like, if he gets out of that, is he automatically dead? Or was that the hex trying to pull him back in because Wanda's not necessarily controlling it? Because we saw right before that happened, this scene with the neighbor, whose name I always forget.
Agnes.
Agnes. We always see her, she's doing this. It was a great scene, by the way. Like,
it was.
Her performance was excellent. But I get the vibe that she knows more than everybody else.
Well, exactly. So people looked at that scene and they said, see, that confirms it that she's not the villain. She's just as helpless as everybody else. And I'm like, I think it confirms the exact opposite.
Right. I felt the same.
She knows everything. Of course, she knows about the Avengers. That's obvious. She's a citizen that lives in the MCU. But she also, would break character more than anybody else in that show. And be aware of everything going on, to the point that she's in the opening theme song of this episode. You know what I mean? Like, she's important. She's
Right.
dressing up like a witch as her Halloween costume, and everybody knows that she's based on that witch character in the comics. She's definitely a villain, or she's going to become a villain at some point.
And I think we're gonna find that out in the near future, and we're gonna this rift that's going on between Vision and Wanda, that's not gonna last. They're gonna figure out what's going on. Because did you see? So she did it. She attacked her brother when he said, "You can't
die twice.
Your dead husband can't die twice,"
which he has in the past.
Yeah,
he literally died twice. And that's the other thing. I had somebody ask me, like, why is Pietro like making her mad? And I'm like, I think he's trying to antagonize her. I think something is making him do that. People are saying, like, you know, there's so many theories about Pietro. Like, is he actually Mephisto, the big baddie that everybody's hoping that is bringing in disguise? Because he says something like, "Go forth, my demon spawn," to the kids, which is so, like, silly uncle. But also the kids in the comics are literally demon spawn of Mephisto. So that's weird. And, you know, then people are saying he's so aware. He says, "Oh, I'm the brother that's supposed to come in and give you grief," and blah, 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 blah. He knows his role in the show, which points that maybe he's a plant. Maybe Wanda created him to be the talking point because Vision's not there anymore for her.
I don't think that she created him or brought him in because she was surprised to see him.
Well, that's the other thing. I feel like she's not fully in control. My hope, I don't think this is right anymore, but my hope is that she accidentally brought him in from the Fox reality. And when she brought him in, because he's in the Hex, he has dead Pietro's memories, which is why, you know, he knows certain things that, you know, Wanda knows, or that her brother in this universe would. But I'm thinking if he is real and he goes out of the Hex, he's not going to he's not going to have our Pietro's memories. He's going to have Fox Universe Pietro's memories.
Right.
Which would be so exciting. It would be so exciting.
So a couple of things here. Number one, how about for Halloween, Pietro was Nick Fury?
What?
Did you see that?
No.
Yeah, when they flashed back, they did the flashback to the.
Oh, I didn't realize
Halloween.
He was Nick Fury.
He was Nick Fury.
That is so funny.
And I think she was the empath from Guardians of the Galaxy, whose name I don't know.
Mantis?
Yeah, Mantis.
That's so funny.
I don't know. I'd have to look again, but so that was amazing. But also, what if this whole hex, what if this whole thing she's created is to protect the outside world?
It could be, honestly. And the thing is, so we know she extended it to save Vision's life, pulled in almost all of the sword people. I say almost because it's literally like 3 and then Haywood are the only ones who survived it. And then we got Monica and Jimmy Woo got out of there because they're going to meet her contact, which I swear to God now has to be Reed Richards, right? Like, we're going to get the Fantastic Four at some point.
I sure hope so. And it's got to be, if it's not John Krasinski, I will be brokenhearted.
And here's the other thing, by the way. This cameo they're talking about, I don't think it was Pietro. I don't think that's on the level of Luke Skywalker showing up in The Mandalorian, because that's what she said. The show's going to have a cameo that's on the same level as Luke Skywalker in The Mandalorian. I don't think Pietro was that. No. I think it's going to be the introduction of a brand new character. Oh, like Reed Richards. Oh, I'm so excited. I want to see what they're going to do.
Yeah, it's as Tom Petty once proclaimed, the waiting is the hardest part.
Okay, that's another thing I wanted to talk about real quick, because they came out with this yesterday. IndieWire did. They made this tweet, and I want to get your opinion on it. It says, After 6 episodes, WandaVision still feels far too much like an inflated feature film that just keeps dragging out its story via inconvenient weekly installments. And I'm like, do they not remember what TV was before Netflix?
I mean, that's so stupid.
It's so dumb, right? Like, and then I see people coming to their defense in the comments saying like, no. See, TV was episodic. Episodes would have a beginning, middle, and end, and there would be a lesson at the end. That is not happening with WandaVision. It's just drawn out. And I'm like, did you ever watch Game of Thrones or Breaking Bad? Shows that would lead right into the next episode?
Guess what? When you have a long story to tell, you tell it in episodes. You don't make a 10-hour movie. You know what I mean?
Zack Snyder. Ugh.
That's so stupid.
It's so dumb because, like, I agree. The waiting's really tough. Am I loving it? I am. Not just for the podcast basis, but also because, like, it builds up people's excitement. That's what I loved about The Mandalorian. People were freaking out every single episode, and I liked that level of, like, I don't know, positivity to the internet. Yeah, because when Netflix releases a whole show and people binge it, like, I didn't see this much love about Stranger Things. You know what I mean? Because what would happen is people would watch all of it and then talk about the biggest things that happened in the show.
Right.
With stuff like Mandalorian and WandaVision, there's theory videos, like countless ones every single week that people are just excited, and it's so refreshing, I guess. I really love it.
I agree 100%.
Speaking of a theory video I saw, somebody had their own theory for how they're going to introduce the X-Men.
Oh, really?
Because the X-Men are, part of society. But the Hex getting so much bigger and just engulfing a few people in it right now, that's not big enough to engulf the X-Men. My theory is that it's going to, at some point, get so big that it engulfs the planet and then she can't hold it. That's my theory. However, somebody said, well, what if half of all of life came in contact with an Infinity Stone? Because that's what gave Scarlet Witch her powers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then she has all these new powers after being blipped.
Right.
So what if people become X-Men after being blipped?
That's an interesting theory.
That's a very interesting theory. And the idea that we have the X gene, everybody has the X gene inside of us, but it only gets activated after coming in contact with an Infinity Stone.
Because that would be kind of like coming in contact with an Infinity Stone.
Exactly. Is getting
that's
blipped on a cosmic
theory.
level.
I like it.
I like that theory a lot.
I like that theory a lot. Yeah, it's a good one.
I'm really just excited to see how they do the X-Men, because many people are like, but the X-Men's whole troubles and worries are that they've already been involved in the universe and they're dealing with persecution and
right.
And that's kind of hard to do now because we can't just introduce this whole new level of meta-humans.
Yeah, and then we got to go flash forward 25 years in the future to get where we need to be, right?
Exactly. So what I think is going to happen is the persecution level, which is very important to the X-Men story, is going to be on the level of, well, how is it affecting people now? Families and friends are all being torn apart because of persecution against somebody who's suddenly different. You know what I mean? So I feel like that could work on the same level of where X-Men are, but it does change things like, Magneto, his whole background. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's going to be very, very interesting.
Eventually those kind of things are going to have to change, though, because, Magneto's origin story is as a Holocaust survivor. But
right. Not many of those left because it's been so long.
We're looking at, 90 years ago at this point.
Exactly. It's crazy.
So, I mean, it's obviously, it's one of those paradoxes where, I think about that like with Batman, you know what I mean? Like at some point, Batman's parents are going to be coming out of a movie or a theater show that was out the same time the original Batman movie was.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right.
It's one of those things where the time changes, and unless you want to make a period show, you're going to have to adjust origin stories.
Sure. And they could always do arguments like, Magneto was a Holocaust survivor, but having the superpowers actually made him age slower. Oh, that works.
It works for
Possible.
Wolverine. Yeah.
Or it works for Wolverine. So there's things that could be done. But I don't know, man. Marvel's doing everything right. They really are.
Agreed.
And I know we say it every single episode, but I cannot believe that, over a year ago we were talking about Phase 4 and your lack of interest in it. And I remember and not even you, just like I remember being the only one on like the Phase 4 train who I was like, I think my most excited thing is WandaVision. And people were like, what? WandaVision? And now it's one of the biggest shows. And I'm so happy I was right.
It's a good show.
It's really fun. But yeah, I'm excited to see where they go from here. Do you have any theories on like Darcy? She got thrown into the hex, and we didn't see her turn into anything.
Yeah, that is an interesting thought because the trucks were turning into a circus on the edge of town type of deal.
Right. The
guys
soldiers were turned into clowns,
things like that.
Which is so, by the way, like that's Wanda saying something, right?
Absolutely, positively. So I'm curious to see what happened to her and what she turned into. She was attached to the car, so
yeah,
I can't imagine they would keep her that way.
Well, I will say another theory that I saw was like, well, I know we already skipped the 1980s, but what if she goes full Knight Rider? Like Darcy's Darcy's a car. Talking car.
I don't think that'll happen.
No, I don't think that'll happen either. But boy, wouldn't that be silly? I'm excited to see what they're gonna do. It's really exciting, and we only got we normally record these on Fridays, but now we only got a couple of days. We got 3 days.
Couple days we'll be there. I'll probably stay up late to watch so I don't get spoiled.
That's a great idea. I'm going to be waking up first thing. It's so funny because I wake up first thing on Fridays and I always look at my phone and look at like social media and stuff. And I always have to remind myself, no, got to watch the episode first and then I can look at social media every single time.
Yeah.
But all right, I think that's going to do it for this episode. This was fun, Tang. It was a little bit of a shorter one, but we're actually about to hit our 50-minute mark. So we still, we can't help but talk. We can't.
We can talk a lot. Yeah, we got that. We long-winded.
Yeah, for real. But all right, that's gonna do it for this episode. Thank you all so much for watching on our YouTube channel, No Talking During the Movies on YouTube, and check us out on Instagram where we occasionally post about the episodes and stuff like that. But that'll do it for today. How are you feeling, Tank?
Feeling great, man. Feeling like got a lot of stuff covered.
And you are covered in a lot of stuff in that coffin of yours.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. I'm excited to see that evolve as well.
Wait till you see some of the decorations we got for her. She's going to look cool.
Don't call your closet a girl. All right. Well, once again, I am your host, Stephen Austin.
And I am Tank.
And we'll see you next time, guys. Bye-bye.